This video is about the Psychology 101 Scholarly Article Analysis. The ability to read and understand a scholarly article is critical to understanding psychology. A scholarly article, also called an academic article, is one written by a person who is an expert in their field, usually someone who works in a university setting. Scholarly articles are usually peer-reviewed. A peer-reviewed article means the article is submitted to an academic journal where a board of peers, or other experts in the field, review the article. This peer-reviewed board evaluates the article, asking questions such as, does the experiment follow the scientific procedure? Are there problems in the design of this experiment? Are there problems with the logic or conclusions drawn? If they find problems with the study, they will not publish it. For this reason, we frequently talk about peer-reviewed literature being the most reliable source of information. In psychology classes, you want to choose scholarly peer-reviewed sources. Newspaper or magazine articles are not as rigorously reviewed as peer-reviewed articles. For your scholarly analysis assignment, you will be reading an empirical study that has been peer-reviewed. Let's talk about the 4 parts of an empirical study. An empirical study is a study that follows the scientific method. You can identify an empirical study because it has 4 sections: an introduction with a hypothesis, a methods section, a results section, and a discussion or conclusion. As you summarize each section, it helps to think about what each of the 4 sections contribute to the paper. You may want to pretend that you are explaining each section to a friend or a family member. Let's look closely at an example of an empirical study from a peer-reviewed scholarly journal and identify these 4 sections. The abstract is a summary of the article, but for this assignment, it is important to read and understand the entire full text of the article. In the introduction section, the author explains why they wanted to do this study, to find ways to help college freshmen adjust to college without succumbing to common health problems such as depression, sleep problems, or excessive alcohol drinking. They cite studies identifying binge drinking as a maladaptive coping strategy that is linked to depression. They define their terms by telling us what mindfulness is and outline other studies of mindfulness practiced by college students. This outline of other studies is the literature review. Finally, the introduction presents their hypothesis that the students who participated in a mindfulness program called Learning to Breathe would demonstrate better mental health outcomes than students who did not participate in the program. In the methods section, the authors tell us how they conducted their study. They describe the participants, 109 first-year college students. They also identify demographics, such as age, gender, and race, and identify other relevant details, such as how many have attended therapy before. They describe the procedure, including how they identified their intervention or test group that attended mindfulness training, and a control group that did not. They describe what interventions they took in their mindfulness program. Finally, they describe what assessment tools they used to take measurements, including the Primary Health Questionnaire to measure depression, the Generalized Anxiety Disorder Scale, and the Young Adult Alcohol Problem Screening Test, among others. Understanding the methods section lets us understand how the researchers did their study. In the results section, we see detailed charts describing their measurements for both intervention and control groups, and detailed statistics as they processed their results. The results section may be dense to read, and new students may want to focus their attention on the next section to understand what these results mean. The discussion section, which in this paper is called a comments section, is possibly the most important part of the scholarly article. This is where the authors tell you how they interpret the results. In this case, the authors found that mindfulness training led to improved outcomes in areas of life satisfaction, depression, anxiety, sleep issues, and alcohol consequences when compared to the control group. However, intra- and interpersonal awareness were not improved by mindfulness. They discuss these results in relation to other studies on mindfulness and in relation to other studies on interventions targeting alcohol and sleep behaviors. They talk about why the study was important, improving academic outcomes. They discuss limitations of the study, such as sample size, self-reporting measures, and the lack of mindfulness in their college courses. And finally, they make suggestions for future studies, such as follow-up studies to assess the lasting effects of mindfulness. This concludes the video on how to do a scholarly article analysis. If you have any questions, please contact your Ivy Tech library through Ask a Librarian or contact your local Ivy Tech tutoring or writing center. Thank you.